Something has come along that changes our movies. It changes the way you see them, hear them, feel them. It changes the experience. It opens our eyes to something new. We invite you to dig deeper, to find things that you've never experienced before. This is the difference between watching our movies and living them. Experience our movies on Blu-ray. This is how our movies are meant to be lived.
Thanks for downloading this podcast from Imagine Publishing. To access the complete range of Imagine Publishing podcasts, visit imaginepodcast.com.
Welcome to the Play Magazine podcast.
Hello and welcome to the new and improved Play podcast. Say hello everybody, I'm Nick Jones, Editor-in-Chief.
Hello, I'm Gavin Mackenzie, Games Editor.
I am John Gordon, News Editor.
And like I said, this is the brand new Play podcast. We've been away for a few months now. I think the last one was about March time.
I wasn't even here.
John wasn't even part of the team. So.
Welcome, John.
Thank you, Gavin.
You're welcome.
So we've had a rethink about the Play podcast. It wasn't very good, if we're honest. So what we've come back with is something hopefully you'll actually enjoy listening to, with lots of exciting features. The first of which is going to be called PlayStation 5.
Okay, what are PlayStation 5s?
Good question, I'm glad you asked me that. PlayStation 5 is when we list our favourite 5 things in a game on a particular subject. So, for example, our top 5 guns in games.
But we're not doing that today.
No, because that's a bit rubbish. So we're really doing our top 5... Our top 5 water in game, which is much more exciting.
Well,
You say that, Nick.
you say that, but I've got a hell of a top 5 here.
Well, I've actually got such a good top 5, it's top 7. But
7?
Yes.
Mine's a stonking 10 or so, but I've cut it down to 5.
Well, I've just
Well,
got 5 because
this
it's
is-
called PlayStation 5.
yeah, this is a really good start. Me and John have ignored the brief.
Well, I just figured I'll listen to your 5s, and if you mention any of mine, I won't mention those ones.
I mean, it says here that this is going to take 10 minutes, but I don't know what to believe anymore.
Let's just do the 5.
PlayStation 5s.
Gav?
I guess so, if that's alright by everybody else.
Yeah, go for it.
Alright then, my top 5 water in games. Number 5, I suppose I should start with.
Yep.
I should count up,
Yep.
like in the charts. Number 5 is Sacred 2. Not for any particular reason other than it's the bluest water you'll ever see anywhere. It's very, very, very blue.
Even more blue than water in Sonic.
I think so, actually, yeah. It sort of almost glows with blueness.
What kind of water is this? Is it sea water or river water?
All of it. Rivers, sea, ponds, everything is really blue. And the grass is also really green. But I don't really want to dwell on Sacred 2's water because it was just the blueness. It's not particularly well rendered or has great physics or is used particularly in an interesting way. It's just very blue.
I'll be sure to look out for it next time I'm playing Sacred 2.
If you like blue stuff, you'll love it. Next up would be Grand Theft Auto 4, which just has very impressive realistic water. I like how...
Go on, sorry.
Yeah, when say you're swimming about in the water and you get a big boat goes past and you get a great big swell from its wake, there's just I like the sort of the big swells and waves in the water. It's just very.
It's on my list as well,
Yeah.
but maybe I won't do it on my list now. But the reason it's on my list, it's all very good what you say, but the best thing about the water, I think, in GTA4 is when you get a helicopter and fly nice and low down to the surface of the water and you get that kind of kick back off the surface. It just looks very nice.
It's very, very clever. It's just like everything in the game, just so much attention to detail. Next on my list would be Half-Life 2, which didn't reach the PlayStation 3 until, was it 5 years after it originally came out on the PC? Still, the water looked awesome. Certain other aspects of the game, there was, everything's a little bit jagged compared to current games, and the surface, the textures on objects aren't quite as sharp and as real looking as they are in current games. But the water somehow just still looks awesome.
It hasn't really dated, has it?
No,
It still
no.
stands out today.
And the physics of the water, just like the physics of everything else in the game, was cutting edge at the time and still really stands up to games these days, including at least one of which is coming up. My number 2 is an interesting choice.
Yeah.
Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance, which really.
Yeah, so that's the point I'm putting on my list here.
Honestly, I wasn't
Gate on the PS2.
looking over your shoulder. But didn't it have good water?
Well, this is the thing. The first thing I remember of that game was the PR guy demoing it to me, and all he demoed to me was the water effect. just his little guy, his dwarf or whatever it was, just running round and round in a pool of water. But I was happy with that. I was more than happy watching this water effect.
Because the ripples, they don't only go out from your character as you walk; they come back again off the walls.
You could make ripples within the ripples.
Yeah, and that. If you're interested in how that works, get the next issue of Play, because that's what I've been writing this afternoon. How the ripples on a shallow pool of water in a game work.
Maybe you can do that in another podcast.
Maybe I'll do it.
Separate
It will
edition.
take an entire hour to explain it properly, I think. And then my number one choice is really obvious. It's Bioshock.
I think we're all crossing that off our list now.
Yeah, you shouldn't let me go first because I've just taken all of it. But then you guys all had more than 5 anyway, so it's probably fair enough. But yeah, Bioshock it's not. I think some of the individual water effects actually aren't that fantastic. Particularly if you look too closely, there's some actually quite dodgy stuff.
Particularly when water is going into water. Like,
Yeah.
It's like through cracks in the wall
Yeah.
for a pipe. It's not as good looking as it could be.
It can look a bit messy, but the overall effect and just the impact it has on the game as a whole and the environment of Rapture is just brilliant.
When it's
It
just-
makes it like nothing else.
When it's just on the floor or it's running down a wall, it looks really, really nice.
And that opening scene with the reflections of the fire from the plane crash on the water and the waves,
Absolutely
is brilliant.
And the fact they had an entire team dedicated just to
Yeah.
create water effects for that game says everything you need to know. Yeah. Okay.
That's my 5.
It's a good 5.
Nice.
Shall I go next?
You're going to steal
Well-
my games, though.
That's what I'm worried about. I have nothing else to talk about.
I'm okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you started with 10, you'll be fine.
I think I'm alright.
Well, I'm gonna stick with my original 5, in spite of Gavin's stealing my thunder a little bit here. But Baldur's Gate was on my list. I wanted to get something from every generation of PlayStation. So Baldur's Gate, we've covered that. My next one's Rapid Racer on the PlayStation 1. Comes up if you remember that game.
I remember the name.
There's a distinct lack of hands.
Yeah,
It was
I
kind
have
of-
not put up my hand for those that can't see us.
It was kind of Sony's answer to Wave Race back in about '98, something like that.
Was it the one that was made by the same people that did Twisted Metal? Single track.
Don't know who made it,
I know they did do some kind of water racing game,
I
but
think that might be on my list.
but it was builders.
Yeah.
It was builders Wipeout on the water, and it was like fast speedboats going down rivers, different types of water. And things like that. It was remarkable at the time because you had so many different types of water on such, relatively speaking, limited harbour. And then number 3 is Uncharted. Not particularly spectacular. Yeah, you can cross that one off now.
Thank you.
I'll let you have that one. The water effects themselves aren't particularly spectacular or special in any way, but I think it's just the way that when Nathan Drake gets wet, his clothes get wet, and then the way he looks when he gets out of the water, and then the way he dries off, and the kind of treatment of the water in that respect. And number 2, Metal Gear Solid 3. Again,
To the entrance. Don't let him see you. Wait for my command. Oh, bravo! What an impressive display. A pity you could not let your father live to see it. As for your mother, once I've dealt with you, I promise I'll give her my full attention.
Italy, the 15th century, the dawn of a new era. Led by enlightened minds like Leonardo da Vinci, the world would witness an unprecedented rebirth of science, art, and knowledge. Scholars called it the Renaissance. But little did they know that the real truth lie in the shadows. A truth written in blood.
I suppose I should have quit while I was ahead. A little late for that now. What's that saying? Fortune favors the bold? Yeah, right. Lucky me.
PlayStation.
So, they have beaten you, huh? Your quest is over? What if it's only beginning? Some of the most fearsome rulers through history have possessed only a fragment of the Chintamani stone. What would a man become if he possessed the stone itself?
Where did you find this guy?
Lazarovich paid top dollar for Marco Polo's journals. He's been after the Chintamani stone for years.
You're competing with a psychopathic war criminal for a mythological gemstone?
I'm sensing some history here.
Elena Fisher, last year's model.
We're gonna snatch that treasure right out from under them.
They'll never see it coming.
Yeah, well, payback's a bitch.
So, what's your angle on all this misery?
Gonna get us all killed!
My friend, where did you find this?
You mind telling me what the hell is going on?
I miss the look on your face.
I know where the stone is.
Pray that he is not bluffing. It's time to tip the odds back in our favor.
Sweep the city, find him, and take him out.
Sure hope you know what you're doing.
I don't have the faintest idea.
PlayStation.
PES to evolve, we felt that it had to go back to the very roots of the beautiful game, which is easier said than done, as it turned out to be a huge challenge. So what was it that we focused so much of our efforts on? That's team strategy. First thing we've done is to overhaul our AI. We did this by introducing 2 new systems, the first being Team Style, which allows the player to fine-tune the team setup using these 8 sliders. Let's see what happens if we mess around with player support. Move it towards 100, which is max, and the players will move ahead of the man in possession when waiting for the ball. Move it to 0 and they will all drop back behind him. You see it? Set it to 90 and players overtake the man in possession to receive the ball further upfield. Tactical changes take effect immediately, and that is something we worked very hard on. Okay, this time, let's see what happens if we adjust the support range. Push it up to 100 and players provide close-knit support. Good if you like playing your short passes. Push it towards 0 and the players spread out. We've set it to 10 this time. Seems the perfect length for playing long balls, but you can see it really isn't the setup to play balls along the ground. It's always best to experiment to find your own level. First, let's take a look at the 4 offensive sliders. Set player support high, as well as support range, making short passes more effective. Position switches frequent, and attacking style more towards using the flanks, as Baja are a side that likes to play with width. Now, onto the 4 defensive ones. Pressing high, defensive line also set high, as is compactness. Finally, defensive strategy. You can either defend in a single line across the pitch, or get players to cover each other as required. We think the former is more Baja. Imagine doing this with your team. Now, on to the second of the major additions, which are the cards, of which playing style cards are the most significant. While these cards give players a unique edge, it won't boost their parameters in any way, but they certainly provide you with more tactical options. Let's see who has what. Daniel Alves has overlapping run. Pretty self-explanatory. Eto, chasing back, as he likes to pressurize people from upfield. Henri likes to shoot across goal inside the 18-yard box, so cut back pass. And for Messi, an incisive run, as he likes cutting it from out wide. Playing style cards can also be switched off for tactical reasons. There are bound to be times when you want your team to be defensive. Okay, let's take a look at Daniel Alves. Switch his card on, and he'll always look to go forward. Great when attacking, but leaves gaping holes at the back. Switch it off, and he'll play more like a conventional fullback. In PES 2010, there's a huge range of tactical cards. They can give you more control over your players or help you outwit the opposition. Get it right, and the effects can be devastating. Both cards and sliders play a massive part in getting the team to play just the way you want it. So these are some of the ways in which PES is evolving. It gives you, the player, a much greater level of control in setting up the team. We hope that fans can find honing the tactics and settings to perfection through many hours of play and the odd sleepless night a rewarding experience in creating your own winning formula.
You see, where I grew up, the only guys who mattered were the guys who had the balls to take what they wanted.
You'll have to explain this one to me, sonny boy. What's your story?
Well, my mother wanted me to come talk to you about an honest job, but I need real money, so this ain't gonna cut it.
Wise guys, you work for them, you're set. You with them, you die. Well, let's say you teach them a lesson that doesn't require that they miss work. You got it?
What if someone makes a fuss?
Change your plans, boys.
Oh, yeah? And what would that be?
We're gonna play some ball.
I think I lost the beat, but...
Hello! And, oh, is it on? Sigmund, the light is blinking. Should it be blinking?
No. Hold on, sir. Okay, try now.
Have I ever told you about my son? Remarkable boy. Quite smart. He was born in a robot factory in the Solana galaxy. But to be precise, he was created much farther away.
This is your home! Great Clock! A marvel of science and sorcery in the exact center of the universe! Give or take 50 feet.
All his life,
The great clock and everything in it, I now leave to you.
Clank has protected the universe.
Time is not to be tampered with.
But everything he cares about
Using the clock improperly could rip the very fabric of existence.
will become history.
Not so smart now, are you?
Unless the galaxy's greatest heroes can discover the way to reunite.
You ready to let those stallions out of the stable?
I was born ready. Ratchet and Clank Future, a crack in time.
You win again, technology.
PlayStation.
The elders once said, time is a living, breathing thing. Powerful, beautiful, and oftentimes cruel. It can humble the strongest army, shake mountains to its will, and turn entire oceans to dust. But time itself is not free from jeopardy. There are those who seek to control it, corrupt it, change it to suit their dark will. And if that ever happens, the universe will need a true hero to stop it. Are you ready?
PlayStation.
One second. The blinking of an eye. A breath. Enough to change the course of a life. We only know how much we love someone when we know what we're willing to sacrifice. I never asked myself that kind of question. Without knowing why, without asking myself how far I would be prepared to go for love. Sometimes it's better not to know. everything I did for love.
The chantry teaches us the mages had sought to usurp heaven. But instead, they destroyed it. They were cast out, twisted and cursed by their own corruption. They returned as monsters, the first of the Darkspawn. They became a blight upon the lands, unstoppable and relentless. Humanity stood on the verge of annihilation until the Grey Wardens came. It has been 4 centuries since that victory. I have seen with my own eyes what lies on the horizon.
Part of being a Grey Warden is being able to hear the Darkspawn. That's why we know this is really a blight. We feel it just as they do.
This threat is greater than they realize.
The Darkspawn horde grows larger with each passing day. We are few now, and our warnings have been ignored for too long.
No Grey Warden has ever defeated a blight without the army of a half-dozen nations at his back.
You must gather allies. Unite shattered lands.
Dwarves, elves, mages. This sounds like an army to me.
And end the blight before it consumes us all.
Moment forth, you are a Grey Warden.
Support those that battle the Darkspawn. You were chosen, regardless of what happened in your past. I am glad you found a place with the Wardens. Perhaps it was meant to be. I'm not the sort of person that leaves things unfinished. I'll see this through. I promise.
I'm Christian Stevenson, and I'll be guiding you around the Dirt 2 tour in-game. In our latest installment, we've created a world where there's always something to see in here. Between events, you'll return to the paddock area where you'll hear the touring DJ, that's me, playing tunes from over 40 of the world's hottest bands and even sharing inside information about the touring drivers. When you soaked up the event atmosphere, feel free to check out your RV and plan the next stage of your tour. As you'd expect from a touring home, it could often do with a clean. You may even see some old souvenirs from the countries you visited. The RV is also the place to plan the next stage in your career, or to meet up with your buddies from around the world. Then to plan the next event, all that's left to do is to set your car up just the way you like it and catch the next available flight.
Bonjour, chérie.
Top of the morning, ladies.
Did you drink too much again?
Too much? Not nearly enough.
You may be asking yourself, what's an Irishman doing in Paris? It's kind of a long story.
The resistance grows stronger each day. Wherever there is a will to fight, our patriot soldiers will stand ready to strike back. But we'll need more than slogans when the bullets start flying.
I can see that you are a busy man, Irishman. I can provide you with the tools you need to conduct your personal business.
Like what?
Guns, ammunition, explosives.
There is no turning back now.
In for a penny, in for a pound.
I shall now teach you of French kissing. So, you wanna help me fight demons and stuff? Nah.
Kill them all! Warning! Lightning strikes in the strikes you in the take one last step before you die!
I think we got enough stuff here to put on possibly the best rock show ever.
Darkest corner of the globe, there exists a void. A gateway between worlds. A dimension ruled by fear. For centuries, they have waited. Now, the conflict for our world begins. Dark Void. Coming soon. Encounter more at darkvoidgame.com.
Hello, this is the play review of Colin McRae Dirt 2 on the PlayStation 3. I'm here with Ian Dransfield to my left.
Hello.
And Luke Alpejay to my right.
Hello.
Luke's been playing this game an awful lot. Myself and Ian have had a bit of a go and very much enjoyed it. What did you reckon to it, Luke?
It's just the most intense racing game I've played in a long, long time since like the early Burnout games. So when you go to the in-car view, you've got mud
Which
everywhere.
we haven't, unfortunately.
No.
Because we're lightweights.
Yeah, but when you hit a puddle like that, it's the mud splashes up all over your windscreen while you start going. You can't see anything. It's absolutely
Look at that guy go.
Nice crashes as well. Very nice crashes.
Absolutely. They're really good in the single rally races as well because you get, obviously you get your co-driver telling you which way you should be going, but then occasionally you just get crashes on the course which changes the course entirely.
Oh right, so the actual route of the course changes?
Well, kind of. It's just you have to deal with things differently, obviously, because you've got a car on.
Does your co-driver actually know about them and warn you?
Yeah.
All right, that's clever. Now, how would you compare it, like generally overall, to the first Dirt, which was also very good?
It was very good. This is structurally better, certainly. Generally a little bit tighter, I think. I mean, they've learnt a lot from doing Grid, obviously, and they've applied it all here.
And they've got that rewind feature in there.
They have, yeah, which incredibly useful.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, we all don't. No one likes to have their handheld, but at the same time, it's so frustrating going all the way through a race and then screwing it up on the last corner.
That's it. The restart race option menu is just terrifying. It's just waiting to be used. You can rewind time.
What sort of things have they added over Dirt that are significant that you haven't mentioned?
It's mostly just new events, really. Right. There's one where you have to kind of break through certain objects that are in your way. There's a lot more one-on-one sort of stuff, and then a lot of the old rally stuff now has other vehicles on the track as well. So there's quite a few different events.
But the old rally stuff's still there for the old fans, so you can still just basically play a load of championships across the world if you want to.
Yes.
Cool. Anything you want to add, Ian? You've been quite quiet so far.
I'm just reveling in this wonderful footage of me
that is
stealing it on the last corner, right?
Yeah, this is a good
Not
moment.
this one, sorry.
Yeah.
The last
you did take that one wide every time.
But it's all tactics. See, watch this.
Again,
Watch this.
Yeah,
see
things
that.
were going wrong, but he just psyched
Cut
the guy
off
out.
Dave Mirror as
so
well.
that
Get
he
back
messed
on your
himself up.
BMX.
Hello, this is the Play DVD review of Mini Ninjas, a game from the creators of the Hitman series, taken quite a different direction. They've done a kids game involving, the Mini Ninjas in the title of the game. I'm here with Ian Dransfield, the new staff writer on Play, who has played this game all the way to the end and enjoyed the experience very much.
Yes, I did.
Tell us some more about it then. What kind of game is it? What did you most like about it?
It's a little action exploration type thing with a lot of different elements to it. I mean, mainly it is fighting, just running around hitting, well, in this case, hitting really big samurai guy. But there are a lot of different elements to it. There are 6 different characters you can change between, which all have different strategies for fighting. This guy I am now, who is just the tank character, which is why I'm using him to fight the big guy.
Is the big guy actually big, or is he just normal size and everyone else is mini?
That is a possibility. I mean, there are a lot of mini things in the game, but he's one where when you kill him, a bear comes out, which is always fun.
Alright.
And that's my little special attack. I say my special attack as if nobody else can do it. But yeah, each ninja has their own powers, etc. You can be stealthy and things, and then you get to fight
here?
This is, I believe, the second boss in the game, which is quite possibly the greatest boss in any video game that's ever been made.
Just to be clear, he has just done a fart and he's now fanning it towards you, which is how I would probably attack a ninja.
Ah, absolutely. Seems like the right way to go about things. It'll flush them out of the shadows at least.
Yeah. I mean, ninjas obviously famously don't fart because that would give their position away when they're sneaking up on their targets, which obviously is rubbish.
But this guy's a samurai, which is
samurais can fart as much as they like,
because they're dirty.
And he's about to do a massive one, I believe. So let's just sit back and enjoy.
Take it
at the moment.
Green, go.
Hello, this is the play review of Need for Speed Shift on the PlayStation 3. And I'm here with Simon Miller.
Hello.
Transfield.
Hello.
And we're going to talk about how good it is. I think it's really good.
I think it's really good as well.
But I think it's really good. Didn't really like the Need for Speed Underground type games with their street racing and their stupid open world.
I did like the open world. I like the first Need for Speed Underground game. I thought that was quite good. But when it went all weird in the second one, I wasn't a massive fan.
But this is completely different. This is the same brand, but really not the same series at all, is it?
No, this is it. Sort of, I mean, they've sold it as a simulation, but I still think it is kind of arcadey in the sense of the way you get the special effects when you crash and wiggles. But and in a sense, that does kind of portray what it's like to be a racing driver. You know, if you're in a car, if you're driving in this view and you smash into someone at 100 miles an hour, there's going to be some effects.
Not that much of that in our videos because we're fairly cautious and scared of crashing.
And so good at Need for Speed.
It's because we're absolutely excellent
and
in every conceivable way.
We're not playing this on really easy settings or anything like that.
Exactly.
That green line is actually a difficulty line. The longer it extends, the harder the game is.
Exactly. I think the best thing about Need for Speed...
there was a good bump. That was great.
The best thing about it is the way it slowly sort of shows you its hands. When you first start off, obviously you're in like GTIs and forward focuses, and that doesn't really benefit the effects because obviously you don't really go off the track. Once you get up to the third tier, I think there's 5 tiers, and you're sort of driving 4 GTs and the awesome Bugatti Veyron. That's when you really start to see how different it is to other games, racing games, not like shooters.
The only problem I have with it personally is that I much prefer to play racing games with the external view.
And it's a waste of time.
I don't want to in this game, although it's available, but I want to sort of... Well, they've put so much effort into this helmet cam thing, I want to sort of learn to play inside the car.
Because I usually play on the bonnet, that's how I like to do it, because I find this really claustrophobic in the car. But you just have to with this, otherwise you're not experiencing the game how it's meant to be experienced. EA should have locked it in.
We're not shallow, but it is beautiful.
It is beautiful.
I think it comes recommended, particularly for fans of things like Race Drive Grid.
I agree.
This is the Play DVD review of Guitar Hero 5. I'm here with Dave Shaw, who, like me, has been playing quite a lot lately.
Indeed, I have, yes.
There's not much to say about it, is there, Dave?
No, it's weird. I mean, I've been debating exactly how to set about reviewing this for quite a long time, you know. Is it legitimate to say that, you know, it's just a sort of empty exercise and sort of, well, you're playing it for the music's sake, or is there more to it than that? It's a difficult subject to approach, isn't it, without sounding like you sort of not well, you know, you're not exactly addressing the game in question. It just is a difficult thing to approach nowadays. There's a lot of Guitar Hero about.
Yes, well, yeah. I mean, the way I approached it was, I mean, I've written my review now, and it's sort of, it did come off quite negative, but I wanted to make it clear that I wasn't being negative towards the game itself. It's just that the genre, the band genre, has kind of reached dead end, and so
I mean,
and this is kind of proof. It's perfectly good fun. There's a good track list, good mix of stuff. There's some weird stuff in there. Quite a lot of playing piano with the guitar.
Superstition by Stevie Wonder,
which is a great song.
Yeah,
but it's weird playing the saxophone part with the guitar.
It is indeed.
But yeah,
there's a lot of that about, and I mean, I think we've reached a sort of not so much a lot of diminishing returns as such, but more of a plateau, because there will continue to be entertaining for people who enjoy the songs specifically on there, and obviously there'll be depending on how wide your tastes are, there'll be a number of songs on each one that you enjoy. But how this is different to just purchasing music is a matter for me.
Well, this is the thing that you get the feeling that Harmonix, when they started doing Rock Band, kind of saw this coming a long time ago, and so their strategy has been to provide a platform for music that just keeps on getting more and more music on it, whereas with Guitar Hero they were sort of more about the gimmicks and features. But I don't think it needs gimmicks and features, and there's probably quite a few things on here, on this game, that could just be stripped out, and the focus could really be on the music and the performance and the fun. But yeah, it's still worth having, it's just not that essential.
Yep, simply that.
Take us now.
There's a lot going on that I've seen in other games, but not quite as stylized and not quite as hip. With the music, it has the right mix, whatever it is, like all the variables make out this like pretty sick and sexy equation.
My name is Levon Lewis. I am the audio director for Wet. For the music, I brought in Brian LeBarton, who is the keyboardist and music director for Beck.
I wanted music that could scare the out of you, make you feel like you're in the game. Music that would put you on edge. Music that would sort of just freak your brain out.
Brian's head was just tuned to the right space for this title.
Face-melting musical debauchery.
We wanted to explore edgy ideas. We wanted to be experimental with the art style, experimental with the sound and music signature for the game.
I was very aware that I wanted it to have a sort of unhinged, about to fall apart sound to it, and I think the game has that feeling too.
We have this great, unique, original music score that was recorded raw and live in the studio with killer musicians from a lot of known bands.
Are you ready to rock, bitches?
I knew how the music needed to be able to fit in with the grindhouse feel.
I was told Mr. Ackers was sending a woman. At the cash.
I threw in some hip-hop, sort of dusty beats for good measure, a lot of old cowboy music, inspired by Sergio Leone movies.
We had an incredible time in the studio. We had legendary musicians like James Gadson. Ziggy Marley walked into the studio at one point, like, hey, this sounds cool.
It's a real lonely kind of stuck in the desert with no water and you're really pissed off sort of sound. If that's a genre, or if it's not a genre, I just created that genre.
I love the sort of 70s soundtrack. It has a different feel to it. I think there's something really sexy about that. It just sounds and feels retro cool to me, and it has that Quentin Tarantino sort of feel to it, and yet it's unbelievably modern and hip and today.
To me, the game is a fresh new take on the old school action genre. You got some guns, you got some bad guys, you're gonna kill them. But you're gonna kill them in a way that you've never done before.
This game is a 70s retro movie theater experience. We felt that it would bring the third-person shooter genre up a notch.
Badass. It's gritty, and it's tension, and it's overall a revenge story about a person who does not want to be double-crossed. Go out and get ready to just kick some ass. That's what the game is.
I'm really proud of it. I'm just excited for people to get a hit of it.
Hey, this is Taylor Swift, and I'm so excited because my songs Love Story, You Belong With Me, and Picture to Burn are all available for you to play in Band Hero. You're gonna love this game.
Today, you're going to get to scan. The fine people over there are going to take pictures of all your guitars and things like that so that we can make sure that in the game that looks right. Today, in order to get Taylor Swift into the video game, we're going to start off by scanning her head so we can get a nice, realistic representation of her. We're going to take all sorts of photos for reference to make sure we can build her accurately.
What I'm seeing here is there's very little of your leg showing.
Mom wants to see more leg. This is weird.
Then we're going to put her in a motion capture suit, which is basically a spandex suit suit that has these reflective markers on it that the system that you see all around us can track.
I've been waiting all my life to wear something like this.
The reason we're going through all the trouble of doing motion capture is we want the Taylor Swift in the game to be as accurate to her in real life as possible, because everyone walks different, moves different, holds the guitar differently.
Anywhere within this tape.
Yes, ma'am. We've set up the motion capture stage to emulate the stage that is in the game Band Hero. So when Taylor's out here, she'll be able to move around on stage, look out at the crowd, interact with the stage, interact with the people in the game, basically. When we take her performance and we put it into Band Hero, it just translates as a full, authentic Taylor Swift performance right into the game. That was great, except you've now fallen off the stage. So, we're gonna have cameramen out here, and they're gonna be going all around her, getting all sorts of interesting angles. And when you're playing the game, you're gonna be closer to her on stage than you could ever be if you went to a concert. It's like having the best seats in the house for every song. So if you're a Taylor Swift fan, you're definitely gonna enjoy being up there on stage with her and performing with her.
We're gonna connect the dots on this one.
I can see it.
Yeah. Easy enough.
There's attitude in those dots that aren't connected.
One of the great things that Rocksteady brings to it is it's a very English company, so there is a very English sensibility to the design and to the look of Arkham and to Gotham, which is very appropriate.
When we started the project, that we wanted quality to be, paramount. It had to be paramount because people love the characters.
Because we had that much experience, we knew what we wanted to do from the start.
We had to produce not only double the amount of animation that we would have had in previous titles, it's probably 10 times more, and the quality bar has really gone up now.
It's a mix of mock-up animation and more kind of like traditional hand-animated animations.
We brought in some martial art experts. They were fully trained in all different techniques. They showed us what they can do. We motion captured them because of our motion capture studio in-house.
The stuff that we're doing is translating very well to the characters.
Working with Paul Dini's been awesome. Obviously he knows a lot about Batman. He's currently the writer on Detective Comics. Any questions we have or any ideas we have, we can run through him.
Silly bat! I don't want to escape. I'm having way too much fun.
These guys get it so much. This is just Batman's world.
Rocksteady taking on that challenge. It's half exciting and half terrifying. You know, the burden's out there that the world wants a great Batman game, and to be honest, we all want a great Batman game. So that's, that's the inspiration as well for us, is that it just deserves, he's such a cultural icon, he deserves a game to match.
Ezio becomes an assassin in order to avenge the tragedy that's befallen his family. People that are very close to him are taken from him, and he's been branded a traitor and a criminal. The city guards who once respected him now hunt him, and the very people that claimed they would help him in his time of need have now turned against him.
Right after this event happens, he finds that mercenaries, prostitutes, and thieves are not the people that he should be fearing, but actually are the most trustworthy people.
What was important for me when we built the world of Assassin's Creed 2 is that you felt that you were part of one group of individuals. So we said, let's use the underworld, and so that's your family.
The three factions that we have are thieves, courtesans, and mercenaries, which will all help you either distract, elude, or literally beat up your enemies. The faction leaders will be met along the path in Assassin's Creed, and they will be asking you a couple of things to help them as they're helping you. So it's sort of a mutual trade-off between the two.
A lot of people will end up helping Ezio. There's his uncle Mario that he hasn't seen many years that will help him tone his fighting skills. There's Machiavelli as well that we find in the game, and finally obviously Leonardo da Vinci, who's going to become quickly a very close friend of Ezio, not to mention a test dummy for his wild inventions.
Leonardo is going to be one of your main friends, and basically he's going to act as a Q in James Bond.
For Assassin's Creed 2, we have the notion of crowd groups, where in Assassin's Creed 1, the crowd was a little bit individualistic, where no one would bunch up together. Now we really have formations that are moving along the city.
You can blend in, you can steal from everyone you see, because we have this economic system, so the economic system gave us the opportunity to use the crowd differently than in Assassin's Creed 1.
Banking came up just a few years previous to the time period that Assassin's Creed 2 is set. Some of the most prominent Italian families actually went into banking. The citizens of each of the cities started to move away from trade, and coins actually became a marketable currency.
So we decided to say, that's great, because we want to have it for the game, and our subject tell us that, it makes sense. So we combine the two, and that's why there's an economic system in Assassin's Creed 2.
The most exciting thing about the economic system is giving the players the choice to do what they want with their money. So instead of feeding the player rewards at a given time that is set by the level designers, we give you a whole bunch of options that the player can actually choose when and where to purchase.
We join each other today on a new plane of battle.
There will be no medals
or coloured ribbons for second place.
We fight in the shadows for what is left of the world's resources.
Some for money,
some for land, others for honour.
Every battle produces heroes,
with tactics giving us purpose.
Remember those next to you.
We may fight as many,
but we win as one.
One of hundreds.
The game has changed.
Stand as a team,
fight as a unit.
Succeed as a platoon.
Soldiers of Raven,
Sever,
and Valor.
Remember, it takes one man to lead a war,
but an army to deliver victory.
Beyond every bullet
lies a leader.
Lead me.
Follow me.
Or get out of my way.
Mag, only on PlayStation 3. The game is just the start.